All right, so we are going to spend some time taking a look at the syllabus. This is provided to you as a link and as a Word document as well as a PDF document. Sometimes opening up the PDF is a better option compared to the Word document because depending on the device that you're opening it up on, the words and things might get moved around a bit. So I do attempt to put both the Word document and the PDF document for each of the documents. That includes this document here. So let's get started. Here we are at the Bio 110-61. This is our course, the Cell Biology Basics. It's a winter 2019 semester, and this is the online course. My name is Brandis Hubbard. This is my email here, the bahubbard@sc4.edu. So if you'd like to get a hold of me, that's my email address. However, in just a moment, I'm going to talk about the way that I prefer that you get a hold of me. So that's there. If you are perhaps unavailable, your SC4 email address is not available to you at the time, and you just remember this for some reason, and you can type it into the to box in some email, and then you want to send an email. In a moment, I'll discuss the way that is preferred. But my office location is CEM 206. I am also online via email, teaching online courses, so I'm available via email, as well as Skype. If you ever feel the need to have a Skype conversation, if we want to have a one-on-one, I can be available that way as well. And then also via text, via the Remind app, which we'll talk about momentarily. So my conference hours or my office hours are on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 3:45 until 6 p.m., as well as additional time by appointment. So if those times do not work for you, then we can email back and forth or text back and forth, whatever that may be, and we can try to figure out a time that works for you. As long as I'm not in a course or in a class, then maybe we can meet up if these times don't work for you and you want to meet in person. But again, being an online course, if you're not on campus, we can try to work this out, anything out via email or Skype if needed. I do have virtual office hours available by text. There's an app called the Remind app, which is this next piece here, but I also mentioned up here. I ask that every student download this free Remind app, available at this Remind link. So this is, if you're opening this up on your computer, you can just click on this. And if you're opening it up on your phone, you can click on that. So it can be on your phone or on your tablet, or you can access it using a computer. So each student, if you're taking an online class, you should have some device that you're using. And so you need to be able to download this Remind app, whether phone or tablet or computer, so that you can access information, not only so that you can contact me via text if you choose to, but also because at times I do send out announcements via text on the Remind app. So right here, the Remind app, you can find the app in your app store. So whether or not you're using an Apple product or an Android product, you can find it at the App Store. You can go online at remind.com, download the app. Once it's downloaded, if you have a smartphone, you're not using it on the computer, all you have to do is put this number, the 81010, in as the actual phone number that you're sending a message to, and then you will text this at bio, B-I-O, 11061. This is our Bio 110-61. And then click send. So this is the phone number here, and this is the actual message you would be sending in a text message. Once you do that, then you're enrolled in our Remind class. What that then means is that you can go into the Remind app. So this is just in your regular messages. Then you go into the Remind app, and you can see that you have now been added to our Bio 110-61 class. In this class, you can either text message myself, which is very, very helpful for students in the past. It really works well because if you're working through something and you just have a quick question, you don't want to open up your computer or whatever and go through and do an entire email, then you can just shoot me a text really quick. What this app does is it makes it so that I don't have anybody's phone number and you don't have my phone number. So we don't have each other's personal information, but we're still able to text message. Once you're set up in the Remind app and you send your first text message to me through the Remind app, then that will also come up in your actual Messages app. on your phone, and then it's just like every other text message. We'll have an open line of communication there, and anytime you want to send me a message, ask me a question, you can use that message area, or you can go into the Remind app, whichever works easier for you, and then you can send me text messages that way. You can also text message other students through that. So if you decide to work with another student in the online class, you can get a hold of them through the Remind app, and again, you're not exchanging personal information if you don't want to. So I found that that's really helpful. I do ask that you still use complete words and things so that I can understand what you're saying. It's also nice because you can take screenshots of something and then you can attach them just like you can in a typical text message. So I found that it's really, really helpful, a good way to communicate. So that is one way to get a hold of me. Another way is the email address that I've provided up above here. Another way is at my actual office, CEM 206. The next way is my office phone number /voicemail. The reason I say /voicemail is because I'm not in my office very often outside of my conference hours. I'm in classes, and then I work a lot from home. So if you do call that number, that's fine. You'll leave a message. That message will get to me, and I can contact you back if that's the easiest method for you. Also, here is my Skype name, so that if we do end up Skyping, if that's what works best for us, then there's my information there. And here's where I talk about the best way to contact me. So the absolute best way to contact me is through this Remind app, so through text. Because, just as the rest of you get a text, it's very easy to just text back really quick and have a quick communication rather than going through email. But if you prefer not to text, don't have a smartphone, whatever the case may be, email is still a fantastic way to get a hold of me. So either via text or email are the two ways to get a hold of me outside of class and outside of my conference hours. One thing that I do ask is that when you contact me through email, that you actually do it through Canvas. So there will be a tutorial going through Canvas and discussing this as well. The reason that I ask you to do it through Canvas is because it will go to my email. It will actually go up to this ba.hubbard@sc4 email. But what it does is it actually keeps a record in Canvas, so that if I go into Canvas and I just click on your name, we can have every record of every email going back and forth. And that can be really, really helpful for looking up information or things that have been discussed in the past, due dates and other things like that. So, so I find that going through that, the Canvas website, utilizing the inbox in there, we'll get it in both places. So it'll be in your SC4 email, outgoing, it'll be in your SC4 email when we go back and forth, it'll be in my SC4 email, but it'll also be in Canvas. So, we can purge emails, it'll stay in Canvas, and we always have that on record. So look in that tutorial when I talk about Canvas on how to email back and forth through Canvas. So our class time, it's online. These are the dates of the semester here. We also have a course website. The course website on Canvas is where I will be posting lectures, where I'll be posting assignments, and other optional material. So as far as the course website, this is an online course, so you do need to have the ability to access things online. So on the SC4 webpage, there's information on system requirements for the course, as well as some other links for plugins that may be required in order to access these things. So we have the SC4 online web page, so you can click on that. You can see the system requirements, make sure that your computer has the correct specs, and then you can also download some plugins there if you don't already have those downloads or updates. If you have any difficulty accessing web pages or activities throughout the semester, please contact the IT help desk. So this is their number here. You can contact them there, give them a call, and then they can help walk you through anything. We will be turning in assignments through Canvas as well. So it's very, very important that you have access and that you have good access to these things. If you do not, at your current house, wherever you're staying, there are computers in the library. If you do not have computer or internet access at home, or if you don't have the ability to download these plugins and updates and things at home. So please do go to the library if you need to, utilize the computers there. Also, the librarians in there are very, very helpful in getting into Canvas, accessing Canvas. They're very familiar with Canvas and working in Canvas. So then you'll have those people available as well for questions. We will be using Canvas and email frequently in this class, as it is an online class. So it's important that you check our Canvas course and your SC4 email, also within Canvas, regularly in order to do well, so a daily thing. If you have difficulty activating or accessing Canvas or your email account, please contact again the IT help desk. Their number is again there. Just as a note, if you are trying to access Portal, your student email will be your username, if you remember what that is, at student.sc4.edu. And then the password for getting onto Canvas is the same as the Portal password. So whatever password you came up with for Portal, it's the same for Canvas now. So next we have our textbooks. For this course, I do not require a textbook. I have the lectures posted online, so you will be watching lectures, listening to the lectures, taking notes on the lectures, and they're all going to be online, so there is not a required textbook for this class. I do have these optional texts posted here though. So the optional text that I have here is the OpenStax Concepts of Biology text. So this is available for free. It's a free textbook online. Here's the link to get that free textbook. We also have print copies available at the bookstore or on Amazon. Also, another optional resource is this visual analogy guide to chemistry. I'm not as familiar with this one. They have it in the bookstore. It's available in print at the bookstore. You can get it as an ebook or through several other vendors like Amazon.com. It apparently has been very helpful for students to be able to see kind of a visual representation of the chemistry portion of the class. So again, I do not require a textbook for this course. I don't want people to spend extra money on it, but these things are available, or this one is available, this main optional text, for free at openstax.org. That said, I don't reference the text in any way. That's just a text that you can use if you prefer to read through things. And it can just supplement the actual lectures and activities that we will do in this class. Down here, the course description. So our Bio 1 Cell Basics class. It's a foundation in basic cell biology, so you can understand the structure and function of the human body. The topics that we'll cover are basic chemistry, organic molecules, cell structure and function, some basic genetics, and then a survey, a quick glance over the human body systems. Emphasis is placed on learning and using effective study strategies. So there's a piece to this course that is related to study strategies. There are no prerequisites. It's 3 credits. It's a lecture-only class, so no lab is associated with this course. Our course objectives, you can read through the course objectives. I don't need to read those to you. That's just the information that we're going to be covering, or the objectives of the course, what you will hopefully gain from the course as we're moving through. A word on disability services here. If you do have a disability that interferes with your ability to succeed in this class, please do contact the Achievement Center. They're at B100 in the College Center. Here's their phone number as well as their email address. You can talk with them. You can discuss appropriate accommodations on a confidential basis. So this means that if you perhaps have difficulty with reading, if you have difficulty with hearing, so you're trying to listen to the lectures, if you have any other type of disability, sometimes students go in and they get evaluated by the people there, and then they get extra time on exams. So please do, if you feel like that applies to you in any way, contact the Achievement Center. You can have a discussion with them. Then they'll let me know on a confidential basis what it is that you require, so that I can adjust the course to make it work for you. Please note here at the end that it is your responsibility to make the arrangements in a timely manner. So what that means is if we get to exam 1, the day exam 1 is due, if you then contact me and say, I have this particular disability, I need more time on an exam, at that point I will not be able to grant that to you. It needs to be through the Achievement Center in an appropriate amount of time so that I can get that information and I can adjust the course accordingly. Our student conduct here. One, please see the SC4's Code of Conduct on the portal for details. The link is here, so all students are required to be aware of it and abide by it. So it's important that you do read through that and you understand what's expected of you and what is prohibited as far as SC4 is concerned. The number 2 here on the list is that the work you submit must be your own. So copying answers is considered cheating. So whether or not you're copying it from other students, whether or not you're copying it from textbooks, from websites, or from anywhere else that's not your own work. So if it didn't come from your very own brain, after reading, after watching, after doing all these things, if it did not come from your brain, then it is cheating. So cheating of any kind will result in a 0 on the assignment. As I'm going through and I'm taking a look at the homework assignments, the study skills assignments, things like that, and I'm reading through them, I am doing plagiarism checking on them. So I'm noticing the sentences that are being used, I'm noticing the way things are worded, and I'm looking these things up, and I'm checking them against textbooks, I'm checking them against websites, and I'm checking them against other students, past students, present students, and this is important because this information needs to be your own. It's not okay to take it from somewhere else. So of course you can go through and you can read different things, so you can watch the lectures I posted, you can take notes based on those lectures, you can read the textbooks, websites, all of these things, but when you actually write down the words on your assignments, those words need to be your own. That includes taking exams. So the exams are online for this course. You do not need to come in. They're not proctored. What that means, though, is that you need to be aware of what plagiarism is, and you need to stay on the exam page. I can see on Canvas when you access an exam, I can see when you leave the page of the exam. If a student leaves the page, it notes that. I can see the log for when things have been moved around. I can see when you're looking at a particular question, when you've answered that question, when you've moved on to the next question. So all of those things are given to me. And if I go in and I can see that a student has moved away from the exam page, has gone to different questions at certain times and answered certain ways, I can take a look at that, and that will count as plagiarism. If you're leaving the page for any reason on an exam, then that is plagiarism. You should only be working on that exam at that time. So cheating of any kind is going to result in a 0 on the assignment. A second offense will be reported on your permanent SC4 record, so I will contact the college with that information. You will also receive a 0 on that item, and it's possible that you will have further academic repercussions. If I contact the college, and this has been a thing that has occurred, all the way up until failure of the course. So a 0 earned by cheating cannot be dropped, replaced, or made up. So it's very, very important you do your own work, study the information, take the exams appropriately, and everything will be fantastic. Some student resources. So you will need to spend time outside of class working on both, I say lecture and lab, but there's not really a lab for this class. So here's the labs are kind of the study skills, but so here are some ways that you can get access outside of class. There's some free tutoring at the Achievement Center. There are Canvas links that I'll have, some supplemental materials, tutorials, images, self-tests. There's the Biology Learning Resources collection that's actually at the library that you can study outside of class time. Extra lab time, this doesn't need to be in there. That's for an in-person course. I apologize. Conference hours are available for me to help you. And then, of course, you can email me or text me at any time with any questions. If you are struggling in this course, please come and talk to me as soon as possible. So I will work with you to the best of my ability to address problems you're having related to the course. We can come up with a plan. We can talk about it. We can figure out what's working, what's not working, how we can make more work, and how we can make it so that you succeed. So that's my goal. My goal is to make sure that students succeed in the course. And by succeeding, I mean learning the information, actually taking that information, assimilating it so it's a part of the knowledge that you have. And so it's important to me that everybody be able to do that. And if that requires that I adjust some things here and there, spend some time doing this or the other, I will do that, and I want to do that. So please do contact me if that's the case. I do put in here, however, be aware that under certain circumstances it may be in your best interest to withdraw from the course, but do please come see me first. And that's, a lot of times that's only really the case when somebody's really struggling due to some other issues. Perhaps a family member is very sick or things like that. And we try to work around that. I really do try to work with the student, but sometimes maybe the best bet or the best thing to do is withdraw. I did put some tips for studying in here. So the key to memory and recall is exposure. So exposing yourself to all this information as much as possible in whatever ways work best for you. So these are some ideas here. You can read through those on your own. Also some tips for taking exams. One thing that I will mention when the exam comes, when we're talking about Canvas, is to answer all the questions that you know first. So go through the exam, answer everything that you absolutely know, and can just move right through. As soon as you read it, you know the answer. Then you can go back to the ones that you are unsure of. But you want to make sure that you put down answers for all of the ones that you do know, because if you do run out of time, the exam will automatically submit, and then you'll want to make sure that you at least got all the things that you knew the answers for. Our course approach. So according to the federal definition of a credit hour, students are expected to spend 2 hours outside of class for every hour they spend in class at a minimum. So when we talk about class for this 3-credit course, it typically would be 2 2-hour periods a week. So this is 4 hours per week in a typical 16-week semester. So at 2 hours of study time per the federal definition for each hour in class, that means that one would be expected to spend 8 hours outside of class on materials. So since this is an online class, the in-class time would be included in the total, giving you a total time for the week expected at 12 hours. So when we are talking about just this Bio 110 course, what we're talking about is 12 hours per week should be planned for this course. So please plan your schedules accordingly. I highly encourage you to study in groups so you can access all of the other people in the class through Canvas, and I do recommend that. Getting together and talking it out with somebody else from class is helpful. There's also free tutoring available again in the Achievement Center. You can call them here or see the SC4 website for more information on that. All right, so the last part here that we're going to talk about is the grading and scheduling. So grades are based on points earned from lecture notes, homework assignments, quizzes, study skills assignments, and exams. So those are the different portions of the course, and we're going to talk about each of them. Each of these items will be present in each of the 5 complete units of the class. It's broken up into 5 units and a partial unit. Grades will be posted on Canvas throughout the semester. All work is due on the due date shown by 11:59 p.m. So we're going to look at the schedule, and it has a due date on each of them. That due date is always at 11:59 p.m. on that day. With the exception of the body systems partial unit, due dates are always the Sunday of each week. So each due date for each week is always going to be the Sunday. So our weeks will go from Monday through Sunday, with the exception of the body systems partial unit and the final exam. Those are due by Friday, May 3rd. And that's because that's the last day of the semester. It doesn't go through Sunday, it goes through that Friday. This piece here we'll talk about a little bit more, but there will be no late work accepted. So you have an entire week. You'll have access to this stuff for at least an entire week, some of them longer. So it is important that you are paying attention to that. You're opening things up as soon as they're available, taking a look at what it's going to take for you to complete these things and getting them in on time. I will not accept anything late. There's no late work accepted. So let's take a look at these different things that you will be doing and graded on. So the first one are lecture notes. So each week you will watch lecture videos on the unit topic. You will be taking notes on these videos as you watch them and will be submitted digitally through Canvas. So lecture notes should be comprehensive and legible. They must be turned in as a Word document or PDF, not as images. Each unit's lecture notes are worth 20 points for a total of 100 points for lecture notes. So when you watch the Canvas lecture, going over Canvas and taking a look at our course site. I will describe in much more detail how to address the lecture notes, how to submit the lecture notes, that they are not to be submitted as images, but as one single Word document or PDF document. But I have it here as well. So we'll talk about that more in the Canvas video. After lecture notes, each unit will have homework assignments. So there are weekly homework assignments based on the material covered in the lecture videos. These activities are to be done individually without assistance unless otherwise indicated. Each week's homework is worth 10 points for a total of 50 points from homework. It's not actually each week's homework. I have a unit's homework altogether, and we're going to talk about that during this schedule. So each week there is homework that is associated with each week, but all of the homework will be due at the end of the unit, and we'll see that in a moment. Quizzes. There are practice quizzes that will be provided each week that will assist in your understanding the material from the lecture videos as well as prepare you for the unit exam. Quizzes are taken digitally through Canvas. Quizzes may be taken multiple times with the highest score maintained as the grade for the quiz. Each unit's quizzes are worth 20 points for a total of 100 points for quizzes. So the quizzes, you can access them at any time during the week. When you do, you'll have access to all of the questions. You can go in, you can answer the ones you know, go back to the ones you don't know, you can answer them one by one, however you'd like to do that, and you can submit the quiz. And if you don't do very well on the quiz, then you can go in and you can take it over and over and over again, all the way up until the due date and time. So I highly recommend that you go in and take them over and over and over again as part of a study technique until you get the score that you want or until time is up. So those will be available for each of the units, each of the parts of the unit as well. Then we have our study skills assignments. Our study skills assignments are to help with, as the name implies, study skills for college courses. So each unit will have a study skills assignment, and each of those is worth 10 points for a total of 50 points for study skills assignments. Because again, we have 5 units at 10 points per unit. Then we have our exams. So there are 5 regular exams, one at the end of each unit. Our format: multiple choice, matching, labeling, drawing, short answers, essay. The exam will be taken digitally through Canvas, so all of these things are submitted through Canvas. There are no makeup exams, no late exams. Missed exams then are recorded as 0 points. Due to the cumulative nature of the material, exams may contain questions related to the previous sections, and each unit exam is worth 100 points for a total of 500 exam points. Then we have a final exam. So there's a required cumulative final exam. This exam covers material from the entire semester and is worth 200 points of your final grade, and that's due at the very end of the semester by May 3rd. So our grading summary: final grades are determined by the percentage of points you earn out of the total number of possible points throughout the semester. Grades will not be curved. I do not curve grades, and I do not intend on offering extra credit. So commit yourself for striving for excellence in this class throughout the semester. So every single time you turn something in, make sure that you're putting your best work in. So I have mentioned that I will not be accepting any late assignments. However, I am providing some free passes. So I will not be accepting anything late at all, unless, of course, there's some sort of serious situation that's brought to my attention. We can discuss the serious situation, and then we can decide whether or not that would necessitate or require some adjustment in assignments. That said, when I'm talking about a serious situation, what I'm talking about is if the student themselves has an elongated hospitalization where they literally are unable to access a computer and they have a doctor's note saying exactly that, then we can discuss this and we can talk about making up some work. These are kind of the extreme situations that would be okay with turning in some late work. So in lieu of accepting late assignments, I am providing 5 free passes for the semester. So a free pass means that you can opt to not turn in any 5 assignments and will not be penalized for missing them. However, this does not include exams. So you cannot have a pass on an exam all 5 exams plus the final absolutely have to be taken in order for you to pass this course. You may not use a free pass on any unit exam or the final exam. So in order to use a free pass, you must email me with the intention to use the free pass within a week of the assignment due date. I will not assume that a missed assignment is the use of a free pass. You have to contact me and say, I'm not going to complete this assignment, I'm using a free pass. Then I will put an exempt score in there for you. If you do not turn something in, so if you do not contact me and let me know that you intend to use a free pass on an assignment and you didn't turn in that assignment, then you will receive a 0 on the assignment after that week. Free passes can be used at any time throughout the semester. So let's say 1 week something happens, you just work a whole lot more than you had planned to work, and you just didn't get all assignments done for that week. You can use all 5 passes on that week. Or if 1 week you just totally didn't have enough time for a single assignment and you just didn't get it done, you can use a single pass that week and you'll have 4 more passes throughout the semester. So how you use them is up to you. It does not include exams. And you have to contact me about it. So here's how you do that to use a free pass. Again, you must email me within a week of the due date for the assignment you intend to use it on. And then in the email, you must include these things. Your full name, so first and last name, the class you're in, so the Bio 110-61, and then what assignment you are using the pass for. And please do use the posted assignment name. So don't just say like last week's homework. Please do say basic chemistry homework assignment worth 10 points. My name is first, last name. I'm in your Bio 110-61 class. Okay. That way I can get in there, I know exactly who it is, exactly what assignment you're using it on, and I can put that exempt score in there. And then it won't count. There's no penalization. Those points won't be as part of, you won't earn points for anything, but then the assignment itself won't even count in your total points at the end of the semester. So all assignments will be graded as soon as possible. After the due date, I wait until everybody turns everything in. After the due date, I start grading. Corrections will be written on the assignment itself and or in the comment section of the assignment on Canvas. So it just depends on the feedback that's required for that assignment. You are responsible for keeping track of your scores and confirming that they are correct. You are encouraged to check your score after each exam. So I do recommend that you go in, you'll have access to the answers for the exam after everybody's submitted it. Then you can go in, you can check those answers and say, hey, it looks like I got this one right, I don't understand. And then I can take a look at it. Sometimes that happens. So any disagreements with any of your scores must be brought to my attention, however, within 1 week of the scores being posted. After that time, scores will not be adjusted. Meaning, at the end of the semester, if you're a certain number of points away from the score that you want or the grade that you want, that's not the time to go back to the beginning of the semester and go through every single assignment and try to fight for points. You have 1 week after the assignment has been graded to come back to me and say that something's amiss, and then we can take a look at it and see if something needs to be adjusted. So here is a table here mentioning the type of assignment, the things that we just went over. So lecture notes, homework assignments, quizzes, study skills assignments, exams. We have a body system partial unit, which we'll go over in the schedule in a moment. And then we have a final exam. These are the points associated with each of those, the quantity of them. So we have 5 lecture notes, one for each unit. So 20 points for a unit. There are 5 units, totaling 100 points for lecture notes in the class. Then this right here, the 1020, is our total points for the class. Here is the scale that we will use to determine grades. So we have the plus or minus system at SC4. So you can see that we're at the 93, so at the 3 here. Everything up to the 2.9 is going to be the minus score. Once you hit the 3 here, then that's when we're going to be in the solid grade here. And then once we reach the 7s, we're up in the plus range. So you can see A, B, C, D, E. Reminder here, again, all work is due on the due date shown at 11:59 p.m. Absolutely no late work is accepted. And here is our schedule for the course, our tentative class schedule. So if you look here, we have the week that it is, week 1 through 16 for the 16 weeks of the semester, the unit that these weeks are associated with, our topics that we're covering here, and then the date that they are due. So here we are in week 1. We have the introduction, which is what you're doing now. You're watching the videos related to syllabus, watching the videos related to our course website, and going through all of the things in that first module in our class. We also are going through our basic chemistry, part 1, life section. So I have the lecture posted for that, the basic chemistry part 1. Then also you need to start the Study Skills 1 assignment. The Study Skills 1 assignment requires that you document everything that you do for an entire week. So you absolutely have to get this started early in order to turn it in on time. So you want to start the Study Skills 1 assignment this week, complete that for the entire week, and then the Study Skills assignments will actually be due when you are to take the exam. So you actually have 3 weeks here, but again, it takes 1 whole week just to write things down, and then you need to go in and you'll be analyzing it, answering questions, and all of that. So I have these things listed here, but if you look on Canvas, they're also organized in the module. So each week we have the lecture portion. So for Basic Chemistry Part 1, for example, you'll watch the lecture titled Basic Chemistry Part 1 Life. Then you'll take a quiz based on Basic Chemistry Part 1. These things are due at 11:59 p.m. on January 13th. Then we have the second week, the next week, Basic Chemistry Parts 2 and 3. So you'll need to watch the video, the lecture video for Part 2 and 3 while you're taking notes. So you'll submit notes for Parts 2 and 3. And then you'll take the quizzes for Parts 2 and 3. And that will be due by January 20th. Then our third week here, we have Basic Chemistry Part 4. So again, you'll watch the video titled Basic Chemistry Part 4. While you're taking notes, you'll submit those notes. And then you'll take a quiz based on Basic Chemistry Part 4. Again, you can take the quizzes multiple times to get the score you'd like. That's due on January 27th. Now, at the same time that you're working on all of these things, this is Unit 1 here, all the way up to Exam 1, you should be working on the Study Skills assignment, which is also due on January 27th when you take the exam. During this time, you will also be working on the homework, right? So we have 1 homework assignment for this entire unit. It's split up within the homework assignment into different parts, including Part 1, Part 2, 3, and 4, so you can work on it throughout these weeks. The entire thing, though, is not due until January 27th. Also due by January 27th is the exam. So Exam 1, based on Basic Chemistry, is due by January 27th. So there are a lot of things due on the last day of each unit, but you have access to them for the entire 3 weeks previous. So it's important that you understand that they are due at that time, but you have many, many, many days to work on them. So each week you have things due, and then at the end of each unit, you have several things that are associated with that entire unit. So again, week 1, you'll watch the Basic Chemistry Part 1 lecture while taking notes. You'll submit those notes, and that's 1 assignment. And then you'll take the quiz based on Basic Chemistry Part 1. That's due January 13th. Same thing here, Basic Chemistry Parts 2 and 3. You'll watch lectures for Parts 2, take notes, submit them. Lecture for Parts 3, or for Part 3, take notes, submit them. Then you'll take the quizzes for Parts 2 and Part 3. Those are due by January 20th. Same thing here, Basic Chemistry Part 4, watch the lecture, submit the notes, take the quiz, due by January 27th. At the same time, you'll be working on your study skills and your homework assignment. Those are also due by January 27th. And then you'll take the exam, the Basic Chemistry exam, due by January 27th. So Unit 1 is the example, but same goes for all of the units. So here we are, Organic Chemistry is the second unit, so you can see unit number 2 here. So you'll watch Organic Chemistry Part 1, submit the lecture notes you've taken, take the quiz on Part 1. Those things are due by February 3rd. Part 2, February 10th. Part 3, February 17th. At the same time, you'll be working on the study skills assignment. At the same time, you'll be working on the homework. Those are due February 17th, along with the exam. And so on and so on. We do have spring break in here. You will have access to these things during spring break, so if you want to work ahead, I will have this next week open and available during spring break. So if you choose to do this 4th part here and then take the exam ahead of time, then you can feel free to do that. Otherwise, it's not due until the week after spring break. Then we go through here. Our 5th unit is our genetics unit, which wraps up the same style here. Part 1, 2, 3, 4, taking the quizzes associated with it, study skills, homework assignment. Where this differs is we have this unit 6, which is a partial unit. And remember that this is a separate line item in our list of assignments and points. Our body systems is going to be done during just this week. And once we get to that, you're going to learn how to approach that in more detail. So I will post an announcement. I'll also post detailed information about that once we get to the end of the semester. So our body systems partial unit will be due on May 3rd, and that's the same time that the final exam is due. And again, the final exam is cumulative, so it covers the entire semester, and it's absolutely required. You cannot pass this class without taking the final exam. All right, so that finishes up our syllabus. If you do have any questions about the syllabus, please do text me, email me, whatever is easiest for you. If you have not already watched the video based on the Canvas course, please do watch this video as well as the Canvas video before you send me questions, because it may be addressed in the other video. But if not, or if you have further questions or more detailed questions, then please do text me, email me, let me know, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. All right, so I look forward to a great class.